Welcome back to the D2C Slingshot podcast. I'm your host, Lockie Thompson, and I'm also the founder of Social Slingshot, a paid advertising agency. This podcast is your go-to resource for entrepreneurs seeking insights from industry leaders and experts. If you have magically stumbled across this podcast, then I'm truly grateful that you've chosen to listen. If you have any specific questions or topics you'd like us to cover, then don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram at Lockie Social Slingshot. While this podcast is tailored to the broader e-commerce community, if you are ever in need of direct marketing assistance, then Social Slingshot is here to help. Our mission is to drive as much success for as many e-commerce brands as possible by being the most results-driven and client-focused agency on the market. Now, with all that boring admin stuff taken care of, let's jump into today's episode. G'day everyone, welcome back to the D2C Slingshot podcast. Today I'm joined with Ryan Millman, the founder of Undigital. Now, you've got a pretty long background in your entrepreneur journey, so just want to quickly dive into that, give an overview of what you've achieved so far in your career and what you're doing with Undigital today.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I love marketing, love entrepreneurship. I'll give you a little bit of the highlights here. I started my first company in college. I was definitely the kid in the back of class, not paying attention, doing absolutely terrible in school because I was just obsessed with figuring out how to start my own company. And my junior year of college, 1999, definitely dating myself, but I was like, I've got an idea. I'm going to make it happen. And, really from there on, I caught the entrepreneurial bug. It was a grind. Building value in anything is really hard. You can't actually build significant value without achieving something that's probably difficult. My first company in 99, we were one of the first companies to put photographs on the internet. Seems a little bit silly today, but first digital cameras came out, started taking party pictures at colleges around the country in the US, expanded to 40, 50 schools, was selling photos. So started my first e-com company in 1999. Today, the company's still around, called Greek Yearbook. We actually do school photographs now at 600 colleges doing annual portraits. And then a couple years later, started my next company, which is one of the largest D2C photo manufacturing companies in the US, called Nations Photo Lab. We scaled that business pretty quickly. And then several years later, started my next company. So there's been a lot of companies. I think what I'm most proud of is, I bootstrapped from the very beginning. I was a kind of a broke college student, had a few $1,000s to my name. Every dollar had to be meaningful. Every dollar had to turn into something more than a dollar. And so I lived in the weeds of marketing, really making sure that money was well spent. Really, it was the best education. As somebody who wasn't a great student growing up, I learned so much on this journey. And we're able to take a bootstrap company, never raise outside capital, from a few $1,000s to $50 million a year in revenue, a team of a few hundred individuals. And that sort of got me into what I'm doing today, which is what we're going to talk about, which is Undigital.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess in the beginning, you're a little bit like Mark Zuckerberg, right? You're just going around the colleges, connecting people, taking photos, that sort of thing. And then obviously he's built Facebook, and then you've built your brands as well. So yeah, did you ever make that comparison, or is that just something a bit left field that you've never heard before?
I mean, early days, like Mark was really small and he was just starting out at Harvard and a few colleges. I'm like, oh, this guy's doing something similar. And, we actually, my original plan was to actually take all of these people that were in college, and the company was called Greek Yearbook. So the original idea was actually to put people's profiles online from all the fraternity and sorority organizations in the United States. And that's what I started building out until I had a cease and desist letter from the company supplying me all those photographs. And I decided to pivot and do event photos of all the different college parties that were happening. And nobody in 99 had their photo on the internet. So like, this was so novel. And I was just like, this is exciting. This is great. And I wasn't making much money, but I loved every second of it. I was learning a lot. I figured out how to sell the pictures, tie in with a third party, build out API calls, make the e-commerce engine work. How do I market? How do I build the business? Kind of away we went. So it was definitely early days. I mean, at the time, the search engines were Hotbot and Lycos. So super early, but really fun. And, even though it took many, many years to really get the company going, it took a major pivot to what we do today to actually make the company successful, which today we do portraits for all the fraternity and sororities, pretty much every college in the US. And that was about 5 years in where we made that major pivot. But it was hugely thrilling, and a lot of hard work went into getting there. And once we were able to achieve a little success, we were able to sort of scale that business very, very nicely and sort of start the next one and sort of rinse and repeat. And that really gave me a springboard to get into all the exciting things I've done since then.
Yeah, for sure. It must have been a long time ago because I've never heard of those search engines before. So,
It was. I think, as we talk about what we're doing today, I mean, we think about the evolution of marketing, and first and foremost, I think of myself as a marketer, and being early in e-com and D2C. What I can tell you is, I mean, it was the Wild West in the early days, right? And so, we would use things like, obviously Outlook Express. We would be batching, blasting emails. But at the end of the day, as a marketer, our goal is to find, opportunities of success wherever they are, right? So it's not like, oh, there's one channel that works. It's like, well, every channel can work. Our job is to find what can work within each of those channels, and to make sure that we're spending effectively, we're driving true incrementality, meaning, is this dollar actually driving success? And so as I was early in my career, like, there'd be a lot of tools that I wanted to have that just weren't out there. And I would get very frustrated. I was like, oh, I should make these tools. And then eventually somebody would come out with them. And I think in the 2010s, we actually got some really good technology. Like, we all started to understand what marketing excellence looks like, right? It's the right message to the right customer. It's not everyone gets the same thing. It's like, what do we know about this user? How do we speak to them? How are we authentic? How do we differentiate ourselves? And how do we measure effectively? And analytics is something that's still complicated, but at the end of the day, how do we truly know that what the impact we're having? And so as these tools got better, things got better in the marketing landscape. And I think the impetus for me for what I'm doing today with Undigital, we've got our own fulfillment center for our e-commerce brands. We've got about 100,000 square feet. And I would go into the our fulfillment center, and as you just see thousands of brown boxes going out every day, the light bulb moment, it was just like, oh my gosh, like, this is an important channel. This is a touch point, and this is totally blue ocean. Like, we are doing, like, at best, ourselves as a brand, like, we would just put in the same, marketing insert to every single person. Like, we already know from 10 years earlier that, like, that's not what email, should be anymore, right? Like, you just don't do that. Like, nobody sends everybody the same thing every single time. Like, we already know that that's in the past. And so as I looked at all these packages, it just felt like there was an opportunity to really do something the right way, which is, how do we communicate to each customer effectively on a one-to-one basis? How do we take what we know about the customer and give them the right call to action? How do we measure the performance of everything we're doing within the package channel? And I said, I want this for our own brands. Like, this is a huge opportunity for us. I just couldn't kick this idea, and it wasn't out there. I couldn't find anyone doing it. I said, we're going to invest and we're going to create this technology for ourselves. And that's exactly what we did. That's kind of how Undigital was born.
yeah, cool. It sounds like you got a bit going on. So when I think of unboxing experiences, I'm thinking like small mom and pop shops running out of their garage, handwriting notes every single time into a box. But you're working with some pretty big clients like Unilever and the other brands that you work with, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between those mom and pop stores compared to the scale that you're doing? And what does that personalization look like at that scale?
Yeah. Well, unboxing is important for everybody. I mean, I think the most important thing in e-commerce is this. This is the best advice I could probably give to anybody in e-commerce, is that at the end of the day, every one of us can probably name a lot of different competitors we're competing with in e-com, right? There's similar products, similar companies. And what is our goal, and how do we really drive market share and drive long-term success? And the way that we do this is, if you look at all your customers, the goal is, you clearly have some customers who are going to have a bad experience. Hopefully that's a few. They're never going to come back. You have a lot of customers that like you, and you have some customers that love you. The goal in e-commerce is to think in terms of, how do we get more customers to love us? And what is customer love? Customer love is the combination of great products and great experience, right? And this is the same. It's not just e-commerce. This is anything, right? Think about all the meals you've had in your life. You probably had thousands and thousands of dinners. Like, how many do you remember? A few. It's probably the ones that combine those two things. Great product, right? Amazing meal, but also a great experience, something interesting that happened, a story. It's these combination of things that matter. So when we think about unboxing, we live on the experience side. Those small impressions in a customer's mind that we build these connections in the customer's mind about our brand. Those that smile on the customer's face, like something that connects them to us, that extra touch, that's gold. That's special. That makes the customer remember you, even if it's subtle, right? That is our job, is to do better than our competition, to build these connections with customers, to make them love us more, to make them want to patronize us, right? We can all send something. We can all have a great product. you can throw it in a brown box, someone gets it, that's fine. There's nothing exciting about that, right? So, we live on the experience side, and we think experience is extremely important. Of course, great products are important as well. And so you don't have to be a small customer, right? It doesn't matter what your size is. What we've done is what we realized what was really important is, yes, our technology, and as the inventors of in-package personalization, where we can look at every customer and on demand in real time in milliseconds provide very curated collateral that's completely unique to the user of one, right? So, hey, Lucky, thanks so much for your first order with us. You've ordered this gray hoodie. We hope you love it. Like, here's how we've produced it. Here's the materials we made. Here's the other products we know you're going to love. And oh, by the way, you're not in our loyalty program. These are all the reasons why you should join. Or hey, you are in our loyalty program. You've got 422 points, or whatever it might be. There's just unlimited creativity of how we can take the information we know about you and provide you helpful, relevant content, the right call to action, something that maybe it gets you to the next product, the next category, enrolls you in an important program you're not enrolled, an auto subscribe program, whatever that might be. This works for a brand of any size. And so it's an extremely powerful marketing technology that we're now able to bring to the masses. And the reason we're able to do this is because we've automated it at the fulfillment centers. And so, we had to put a lot of time, effort, and money, to be frank, into creating smart printers that would allow us to plug these printers into any fulfillment location, whether you fulfill for yourself. We have dozens of what's called 3PLs, third-party fulfillers, that fulfill on behalf of many, many brands. And they have our printers. And at the time your order is being shipped, we get a little line of code that says, oh, Amber's order is being shipped. Well, what do we know about Amber? She ordered moisturizing cream. Let's tell her how to apply it and when to apply it and what other products can maybe help for dry skin, whatever that might be. What the beauty of what we do is the marketer gets to control the messaging that goes into every package, no matter where their fulfillment center is. It could be on the other side of the world. And marketing controls it, measures it, and optimizes it. So really gets to use this channel as a weapon to drive a significant lift in both customer satisfaction, but a significant increase in things like reorder rates, lifetime value. And when I started this, my goal was, I want to put a smile on the customer's face. I want them to feel more connected to me as a brand. I didn't realize quite how big of an impact we would have on revenue and reorder rates. And that's probably one of the things that's most exciting about this technology. I mean, we shouldn't expect otherwise. We know great marketing works, right? It's one of the largest, industries in the world, right? When you give pinpoint relevant marketing in any channel, you get a great result. And so now we're able to bring it to the package for the first time, and it's been super exciting to be on this ride.
Yeah, for sure. So just going to try to help everyone visualize what you're actually doing. So it sounds like you're putting some sort of an email into a box. Is that sort of the concept where it was
Well,
derived from?
yeah, I mean, it's printed collateral. So the collateral is going to be beautifully printed, full color. It could be a brochure. It could be a handwritten note that we've automated with our technology that's extremely personalized to you. We also do things like Hallmark quality gift messages. So if you sell gifting, somebody can choose a design, and we'll print the design with the message in there. It could just be a postcard, single-sided, double-sided, but it's going to be on thick paper. It's going to feel good. It's going to be beautiful. So any type of beautifully printed marketing collateral, but it's going in the package. So what's great is there's no postage, right? It's a lot less expensive than doing things like let's say direct mail or targeted direct mail, because we don't have that postage cost that's going up every year. But it's extremely curated, tailored to a user of one. And every time the customer orders, it changes. It's different, right? The message is always fresh. It's new. It's telling them something, telling them something new, unique about the brand, or relevant to their products, purchases, or information that can help them as a customer and sort of grow their basket with us, grow their lifetime value, and just give them helpful information along the way.
Yeah, for sure. So what sort of industries are you seeing this work best for? So a couple of that come to mind is like skincare, like those high reorder businesses. Are there any sort of like left field ones or ones that you
Yeah.
find are working really well for this sort of product?
That's a great question. We have brands in almost every industry. We have a ton of beauty, wellness, supplements, proteins, nutrition, electronics, clothing, apparel. You name it. you know, all of these brands are out there in competitive spaces, and the goal is, how do we build a profitable business? How do we grow our market share? How do we increase our reorder rates? And this is marketing, and it works. The customer opens the package, they see it, something addressed to them. It's extremely relevant. It's a lot of times it's helpful, informational. We have a lot of food companies. We have pet food companies. Pet food companies do a lot of interesting things. We have one pet food company where literally, we create a feeding guideline. So it's your dog. We actually put your dog's picture on it. It's all geared towards what you've ordered, how often you feed your dog, what are the ingredients. It's so specific. I think one of the pieces has about 15 personalized elements on the printed collateral for your dog. So it's extremely curated. And we see a significant increase in the number of customers coming back. We measure our success against a holdout group. So we'll give a audience of customers in package, personalized collateral, and then we'll hold out a group where we won't give it to them. And that's how we truly are able to say, hey, what's the lift from personalization? Typically an average brand for us is going to get somewhere between a 7 and 10% lift in reorder rates. Well, that's huge, right? If we can get more first-time customers the second time, well, more of them come to third and fourth and fifth. And they might not have come at all, back for order number 2. So we can significantly increase that lifetime value just by giving people information. Maybe it helps them get success out of their products, right? Maybe it helps them use it in a way that satisfies their needs, or maybe it's getting them excited about something else that's complementary, or getting them points, for their next order from a loyalty perspective. We can even do curated promotions, and promotions, could be specific to that customer. Maybe your customer is not very promotional, so we give them a little promotion. Maybe it's a very promotional customer. There's so much we can do to look at this customer and say, what is the right thing for them? We do this in a very automated way, but it's amazing. Of course, as marketers, we know when you give somebody the right message, it's relevant, more people will take an action, and it's very easy to beat that holdout group, right? As we're giving people such personalized information.
Yeah. So to personalize all this, like you're talking about like 15 different data points for one personalization in a package, right? So for me as a marketer, I'm sitting there going, holy shit, that is so much work. like that's just like red flags going off in my head. But
Yep.
I assume you've got some sort of process to make that easy. So I just want to understand a bit more about how you're gathering that data in the first
Yeah.
place, and then utilizing that.
Yeah, so we made it super easy. So, everything has to be low friction, right? In my opinion, the way that we set this up, I think you'll be intrigued on how we actually set this system up. So what happens is the brand will connect their order feed over to Undigital. And, if you're Shopify, you hit a button, 5 minutes, right, your order feed comes over to us. Now we're ready to sort of create campaigns. So we're very much like Facebook ads or an email, template company. But what we've done specifically is we have people on the Undigital team that are the foremost experts in unboxing marketing. They become an extension of our brands team. Our brands do not have to resource for this service. So we will literally say, hey, what are your goals? Okay, we got you. We know what you want to do. Our team will literally execute all of these campaigns. We have a brand called Amica. They're a big hair care brand. They've had a double-digit increase in global revenue with us, and they wanted to map 500 of their products, and whatever product somebody ordered, they want to do like a personalized note, giving them instructions on how to use that product. Okay, great. We got it. Amica didn't have to go and set anything up. We have a team. We handle it all internally. We execute it. They can log into the platform. It's a beautiful platform. They can see all their campaigns in real time. They can track how many pieces went out per day by campaign. They can look at the reorder rates across campaigns, the revenue. If they had QR codes, did people scan those? Like, they get all the great data points. We've resourced, because what we found is teams are stretched. Typically you might be a marketer focusing on multiple parts of the marketing stack, and you might not have a lot of resources in today's world. And so, adding another channel, well, we're the experts. So our goal is, and we're performance marketers. So when a brand comes to us, and it's really funny because a lot of brands come to us and are like, hey, we really want to, put a smile on our customer's face, and we want to make them happy. And that's kind of what I said in the beginning, but they all actually want revenue. They all actually want to drive their business. And we're like, so we get it. So we're like, okay, cool. Let's drive the business. Let's come up with the best ideas. And we know what those are because we have so many of your competitors, I'm sure, for any company that are already using us. So it's like, okay, these are the 5 things we want to do. Let's do a version A, a version B. Great. We'll load it all up. And then, at the fulfillment center, it's fully automated. The operator doesn't know anything. It's just like a packing slip printing, but it happens to be a full color piece of marketing collateral. And as they're fulfilling each order, it pops out, goes in the box. and boom, we're measuring, we're optimizing, and we're getting data really quickly to make this channel very successful.
Yeah, I like the fact that you don't make the brands hire somebody else to fulfill your service. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a crazy USP because like even for Facebook ads, like obviously you can go talk to their like internal reps and stuff, but they're just so bad. So you have to go out and find people like me to run those ads yourself. So yeah, that in-house team that you have to deliver the service, yeah, I think that's pretty cool and unique.
Yeah, one thing I think is also pretty interesting, and look, I'm a marketer at heart, and I think every channel. I mean, there's opportunities everywhere, right? And but I think as you think about your channel marketing, like whether it's Google PPC, right? Like you can be optimizing those for years, and after you get it pretty optimized, like you're trying to get really small opportunities to like little things to help you make it better, and those little things can be extremely meaningful. What's interesting about the package is for most brands, I mean, the majority of brands, because we're the inventors of this, like it's totally blue ocean, meaning they're either doing nothing, like you just get your product in a box, like no marketing, or you pretty much are getting the same thing every time, or everyone's getting the same thing. It's either like this complete, like, batch and blast that is completely irrelevant to you, or you're getting nothing. So when they turn on personalization, it's like, oh my God, it's like such a big opportunity. And there's just so much room to grow with it because it's just so new. Just giving that personalized touch, that personalized feel, and that relevant communication is so powerful as a new channel for a brand. That's all brands. We're searching for things that can make our business better, and so this is just really exciting for brands that aren't using this today to just turn this on and just to start to see the fruits of how much this can help your company. The brands that use us are so happy, with the results that they're getting, and we do monthly analytics calls. We review all the data. We keep conversion rate optimizing, and it just keeps getting better and better as you are running more tests and seeing what's resonating, and it just keeps getting sweeter. But definitely a big blue ocean opportunity for so many brands not using the service today.
Yeah, so one of those brands that come to mind is Amazon. So I order from Amazon quite a bit. The brown box rocks up at my door, it goes straight in the bin, I grab the product out. So what are your thoughts on Amazon, and when are you going to start personalizing all their packages?
Sure, we'd love to do it, but I'd also love if they did it, did it on their own, because it would be like just a huge groundswell for more knowledge, right? Like we're a category creator, and so as a category creator, like our goal is to continue to build the knowledge and be the knowledge champions of this space. So more awareness of it would be fantastic. It's a massive opportunity. We even have like fully automated conveyorized systems like that are completely touchless, where it'll automatically drop into boxes on conveyors. So you can do this for any type of fulfillment process. You could be packing at a table all the way up to, again, the automated conveyor systems. I'd love to see Amazon get in. We'd love to partner with them, but we'd love to, we'd be just as happy if they were able to bring something like this on and build awareness of the importance of this particular channel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of brands out there, like in our community, like we were discussing unboxing experiences the other day, and most people are just like putting like a branded sticker across a brown box and like that really simple stuff. And like at the end of the day, people are just going to cut straight through that and not really care. Like it's still a brown box, right?
Well, it's funny because a lot of marketers, like, they're kind of removed from like the package as a channel, and sometimes they're not really in the warehouse, and sometimes they never go to the warehouse, and they're not thinking through it as something that can be optimized. Like, we all love digital marketing. I love digital marketing. I love, the immediacy of it, going in, making changes, like looking for those small wins. Like you get that dopamine hit if like you have a new test and you're getting some like improvement. Like it's so exciting. The package will take a little bit longer, right? It's physical. Not someone's not going to come back the next day in order. However, like it's blue ocean again, and when you realize that is a it's not only a channel. I mean, it is an experience for your customers. That is how they think about your brand. That's why there's different levels of brands. That's why you've got a Holiday Inn, you've got a Four Seasons. Like the experience is different, right? And it's purposeful. And I think even like Steve Jobs and Apple, like coming out with that super expensive white box that you get your product shipped in, he spent a lot of money to do that. There was a whole thought process behind that, like premium dollars, premium experience. Everyone can benefit from connecting with their customers and having a better experience. And I think realizing the importance of that channel, that touch point, and putting a little extra effort into being purposeful and authentic with your customer, oh my gosh, it goes a long way to connecting customers to you in competitive spaces. We need to maintain and grow market share. So we can't afford to have customers churn after order one or order two. in marketing, I always say, you can always do better. No matter what, this is the best you're doing today. Like, how do we do better? How do we jump that trajectory? And you got to keep optimizing. This is a whole open space that should be optimized. That is an important touch point. And I think, a lot of brands haven't fully realized that. But we're part of the, part of one of the companies that I think is helping to turn that tide. And, hopefully more and more brands will come to join the in-package personalization revolution.
Yeah, for sure. So just speaking from personal experience, like I don't like I order pretty regularly online, right? But like I haven't. The only unboxing experience that I remember is Manscaped. So obviously they flog all their podcast and all their marketing and everything like that. I haven't bought from them in 3 years or something like that. Like that has been ages. But that's the only unboxing experience I remember. I opened the box; it was all nicely laid out, like the cardboard and stuff. It felt luxury. Like it just gives that higher perceived value for that product as well. And that's the only unboxing experience I remember, and I still remember it. And it was like 3 years ago, and everyone else is just giving me brown boxes. So it definitely sticks in the customer's mind.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the purple cow, right, Seth Godin. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of brown cows. If you want to, you and all your competitors want to, be a race to the middle. Everyone, typically copies each other. You look at what your competitors have. If everybody thinks it's okay to just give the product and have a okay experience, and you want to be an okay brand, well, what if you're a little bit extra special? I mean, that is worth a lot. And so I think it's really important to invest in every touch point. I mean, the goal is customer love. If we think about, a lot of people, if you think about your marketing spend and your budget, you've always, of course, you got a lot of money going to acquisition marketing, as you should. There's some money going to retention marketing. I really think people should be purposeful and think around a budget of a customer love. Like, what are things that we can do to really get customers go from liking us to loving us? Like, that is the biggest step change you could have to drive ultimate success. As you're bringing new customers, they're going to continue to fall in these different buckets of, hey, they had a terrible experience, they hate you. Very few. You're going to have a bunch of them that like you, and you're going to have some of them that love you. Those customers that love you, that small contingent, that's your LTV. That's the significant drivers of your future business. What if you can get more of them into that bucket? Do you know how much that's worth? It's worth a bloody fortune. And that's how you build a business that gets referrals, has word of mouth, that has brand advocacy, that builds market share. And I think every team should be sitting in meetings thinking about, how do we spend our money to drive customer love, and survey your customers that like you and figure out what you need to do to get them to love you, and really focus on every touch point. Customer service is a touch point. How do you answer phones? Like, how do you better connect with your customers? We are one part of that. I think the package is extremely important, and we can really help drive, authentic messaging that really helps customers increase, that will definitively increase your reorder rates, without a doubt, have customers come back, and build more brand advocacy. But there's lots of different ways that you can do this, and I think that's one of the biggest opportunities for sure. And I think all teams should be spending a lot more time just on this idea of, how do we increase, get more customers that like us to love us.
Yeah, I think it's a super important idea because yeah, I'm in the marketing space with like direct response, trying to get as many first time purchases as possible. But the brands that are going month on month, year on year, scaling to the moon are the ones that are able to get that returning customer rate. So my goal is to drive that down as much as possible, but at a level where they're also like they're getting those returning customer rates, that halo effect year on year. So it's extremely important. And over time, that's going to drop your marketing costs, right? Because you'll get to a stage where it sort of just levels out. You can't scale anymore, and you've got to rely on those returning customers as well.
Yeah, if you look at CAC to LTV, you look at your cost of acquisition, and how much you're getting in lifetime value, right? I mean, it makes everything easier. It makes all your marketing easier when you focus on, look, we've all optimized our website. We look at our funnels. We're like, hey, how do we get more people through? How do we make it easier? Those are all smart optimizations. But, I think we need to look at all of the customer touch points and really think about building an experience that's going to be a little bit better, right? Let's not be the brown cow. Let's not be like everybody else. I mean, everybody else is, if you're with everybody else, then you're all doing okay. And okay isn't what builds a special company that's going to perform for the long haul, and really build, great profits and great market share. We have to have a mindset of excellence. We have to figure out how to make our customers feel more special. And it's amazing, if you look at brands, it doesn't necessarily mean that their customers, their products cost more than yours. Like, it's how you present it. It's the whole feeling behind it. It's all the imagery. It's all the presentation. It's all these things that go into the customer's mind that make them decide about your products, right? The products are an important part. Again, it's great products and great experience, and I definitely encourage everybody really spend a lot of time thinking through this idea of let's be better, let's be special. Those small touches, those little things really add up, and I think it's if you look at the best companies in the world, they all have a special focus on these little touch points.
Yeah, and I think the unboxing experience is super important because, like, when I think back, I've never remembered a website. So I don't care about the website. I just want the product. So that's definitely going to stick in my mind. Like the Manscaped example from like 3 years ago when I made a purchase, I had no idea what their website looks like. Don't remember it, but I remember that experience of like
Well, think
actually
yeah,
having it in my hand.
and think about this, right? Typically, when you order something from a company, you are trying to solve a problem, right? So if you order from Manscaped, you want to solve grooming. You're looking for the best way to groom. Or maybe you're ordering moisturizing cream because you have dry skin, or you're ordering a shirt because you need something to wear for an occasion, whatever it might be. So basically, everyone comes to us to solve some sort of a problem. Our ability in the unboxing marketing world, like it's a perfect pairing to really help customers solve that problem. And we don't just want to give you the grooming kit or the moisturizing cream and here you go. I mean, we can really help with the right content to help them understand how to use it. We have a customer, actually another customer in the pet food industry, and they wanted to give like just all informational products because customers were calling them and they were confused on sort of how to use the product. And so whatever product they ordered, we gave very specific information, instructions on how to use it. They reduced their customer service calls by 20%, right? Because if a customer's confused, they're not coming back again. They're like, like, I don't know how to use this. I'm not going to call a customer service agent. Like, who wants to call anybody? And so, pairing information on how to use it, maybe if it's food service and you provide a perfect recipe for maybe there's a special flavor syrup you have that can mix with coffee. Like, okay, like what are the really cool things that we can tell them about they could try that are exciting and fun? Like maybe they'll find a great flavor combination of how to pair that particular product and they'll love it and they're going to be like and they're going to be lifers because like, oh my god, this is exciting. So like we have to ideate and give them ways, help them get the best out of the product, make sure they're driving success. They came for us for something. We have to make sure that we're helping them achieve that. And it's just a huge unlock. If you do that as a company, gosh, it's so easy to see how that customer is going to come back again. And on the flip side, if the customer's confused, don't really understand it, maybe they don't really know why the customer's exciting, why the product's exciting. I guess the last thing I'll say on this, like if you ever go to a restaurant, and I'm a foodie, so I love eating out, and sometimes you go to a restaurant and they'll like explain to you like where the I don't know where the vegetables were grown at a special place and how they did it, and maybe there's a bottle of wine that a little village made, and like there's a little story behind it, like that you remember that, like it makes it sweeter, it makes the wine taste better, it makes the food taste better. That's what marketing is, right? Marketing is storytelling, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to use the unboxing experience to drive a great message, but to tell your story, to tell the product story, and that really connects in the customer's mind. Just so many great benefits, and again, it's been a real thrill to sort of be on this journey. You could tell I'm pretty excited about it because every day I get to wake up and help all these amazing brands. And it's like so exciting when they see their results coming in. They're like, wow, like this is amazing. Like, why didn't we do this sooner? So again, it's just a really fun industry to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, so we are running out of time today, unfortunately. I do want to sneak in a couple of more questions, though. So, if you've got time for it,
Sure.
yeah, yeah. So, what's the time horizon for like seeing the increase in your service? Because for me, like returning customers, like it might be once every 30 days, 60 days, and
Yeah.
then you've got to send out all the boxes, like the shipping, the blah blah blah. Like, how long do brands usually see results after
Yeah.
investing in your
Great
service?
question. Well, we start measuring everything right away. So everything's real-time measurement. Boxes go out. We're tracking future conversions, future AOVs. All the data is getting tracked immediately. But you're right. I mean, a lot of brands, like they might get 2.5 orders a year, 3 orders a year. So we'll really start taking a look at the data around the 60-day mark and 90-day mark, where we're starting to really look across campaigns and say, okay, we sent out welcome messaging, a version A and a version B, right? Like which one's doing better, and we'll start to look for statistical significance in that data to see if we have categorical, like, success on one or the other. But really, after that 60 to 90 day mark, like we're there. Like we have the data we need. We're really tracking things closely. Depending on how many packages you're shipping out, obviously it's quicker to get statistically significant data. But I'd say in the 60 to 90 days is what we're doing. As we measure going forward, we can use different look back windows. So of course, as time goes on, you've been with us a year, we have a year's worth of data. We can look back and we can do lifetime value calculations. But I'd say 60 to 90 days is where we really start focusing on what's performing, what's going well, and then start making those early optimizations on, it's also great to know what's not working, right? So if we run 30 campaigns, I mean, you run all these Facebook ads, let's say you do 50 ads, like not everyone's killing it. And that's great. We want to know as marketers, which ones we want to optimize or take away. And so we'll see those as well. And again, 60, 90 days, we really start to make some of those optimizations.
Yeah, cool. So for any brands out there that are wanting to make some more money in the next 60 to 90 days, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. You can email me, Ryan at undigital.com. Go to the Undigital website. We can get you samples. We can get a demo. It's amazing because when we get marketers on, to see the platform, and they're just like the comments, like it's just a new technology. A lot of people still haven't seen it. So we'd love to show it to you what's under the hood. We'll show you examples of companies in your industry, whatever industry you're in. We're going to show you specific examples of how we can help you today. And we'd love to see what's in your package and give you something that you can take back to your team that can say, hey, look at what we can do with Undigital. Look at all these incredible personalizations that we can provide. Look at our ROI. We provide ROI calculators. So reach out to us, LinkedIn, go through the website. And even if you don't use us, let us give you some information on just the channel and how to best think about it. Because maybe you're not ready now. Maybe you're doing a platform upgrade. We're happy to chat with you, connect with you, and give you any ideas or tips about the channel.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, definitely encourage anyone to get in touch with Ryan. It's been a pleasure having you on today. Just before I let you go, do you have any last pieces of advice for everybody listening?
Well, I would just repeat what I said. I mean, gosh, let's think about being great. We're going to put a lot of time and effort into our workday. We're all going to spend lots of hours, thinking about how to make this business better. Let's do something that's special. Let's do something that's great. It doesn't take a lot of effort or a lot of creativity to think about how do we do something a little bit better than the next guy, something a little unique, a surprise and a delight. How do we think about customer love? I think that's one of the biggest things I'd love to see people do is just spend more time and more budget on the idea of customer love, right? Small things build a big impression in people's minds. Unboxing is a part of that. We can be a huge part of that. But overall, think about all your touch points, think about your customers, and be special.
Yeah, great piece of advice. So again, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see everybody in the next episode. Hey D2C Slingshot listeners, unfortunately today's episode has come to an end. If you did make it this far, I'm pretty sure you enjoyed the episode, so make sure to smash the like, follow, or even subscribe button. Any feedback or engagement really does help us grow. Now, if you do have any questions or insights that you would like to share, then message me on Instagram at LockieSocialSlingshot. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.